They taught us that Lucifer was the first to fall, the highest angel, full of beauty and wisdom, who dared to defy the throne of God. His story became the blueprint of rebellion, pride, and downfall. But what if that wasn't where the story began? What if, in the silence before the thunder, another rebel had already made his move? Long before Lucifer's pride turned to poison, something more subtle crept through the heavens. A being whose name is almost forgotten, whose actions predate the great war in heaven. He didn't rise up with an army. He didn't challenge God's throne openly. He corrupted in secret. And Jesus, who was with the Father from the beginning, saw it. The Bible gives us fragments, echoes. Jesus speaks of Satan falling like lightning from heaven. But he never says Lucifer was the first. The Book of Enoch, however, opens the vault of the forgotten. It tells of a mysterious being who descended from the heights, not to claim glory, but to twist the foundation of creation. He was one of the Watchers, sent to observe mankind. But he broke the code. He crossed the forbidden line. He revealed the secrets of heaven to those on earth, teaching war, vanity, seduction, enchantments, and sorcery. He opened doors that God had sealed for eternity. His actions corrupted generations, birthing chaos, giants, and bloodshed. This wasn't pride, it was infection. And from that infection, pride would later rise. Lucifer's rebellion wasn't the root, it was the fruit. And the seed was planted long before by someone darker, more ancient, more hidden. The Book of Enoch names him Azazel, chained beneath the desert, bound until the day of final judgment. His punishment was worse than Lucifer's because his corruption ran deeper. He didn't just rebel, he empowered others to fall. He taught angels how to sin. He shaped the world that would later crucify the Son of God. And now you begin to see it. The war in heaven wasn't a single moment. It was a process, a strategy. Lucifer may have become the face of the rebellion, but the infection was already spreading long before his rise. The ancient texts describe Azazel as the one who armed humanity, who seduced the daughters of men and gave birth to the Nephilim. He manipulated the balance between heaven and earth, and it was this corruption that triggered God's wrath and the Great Flood. Azazel wasn't just a rebel. He was a spiritual architect of destruction. Jesus knew. He saw it all, from the first whisper in eternity to the last cry on the cross. And he warned us, there is more happening than what we see. There are layers, powers, principalities, beings operating in the shadows long before human history began. So why has the story of Azazel been buried? Why have churches silenced his name? Why are ancient scrolls hidden from the public eye? Because this truth unravels the comfort of tradition. It opens questions that shake religious foundations. It reveals that evil didn't start where we thought it did. This is just the beginning. There is a forgotten lineage of rebellion, a chain of events that connects heaven's first betrayal to earth's final battle. And if you think Lucifer was the only threat, you haven't seen what's still bound beneath the sands. If this shook your understanding, it's time to dive deeper. Like, share, and subscribe for the next episode, where we reveal the full identity and legacy of Azazel. How his influence still lingers in secret societies, hidden rituals, and even modern technology. Heaven remembers, hell fears, and now, so do you. Before Lucifer ever dared to ascend, Azazel was already descending. Not to worship, not to obey, but to twist what was pure. He didn't challenge God with an army of angels. He corrupted them one by one, slowly, subtly, like venom, spreading through the bloodstream of eternity. His methods were surgical. While Lucifer relied on pride and open rebellion, Azazel dealt in knowledge, forbidden knowledge. He offered power in exchange for allegiance. He taught humans how to make weapons, women how to seduce, and kings how to manipulate spirits. He turned the earth into a playground of perversion. And worse, he taught the other angels how to fall. He convinced them that love for humans justified the violation of heaven's law. That desire could rewrite destiny, that free will could override divine order. And once the first boundary was broken, everything else came crashing down. Mount Hermon became the epicenter of cosmic rebellion. There, the Watchers swore their oath under Azael's influence, and the Nephilim were born, beings of immense size and darker purpose, who consumed the world with violence and blood. Giants, yes, but more than flesh. They were spiritual hybrids, unholy echoes of a corrupted heaven, and in the midst of it all, Jesus watched. He, the eternal Word, saw it unfold long before Bethlehem, before the manger, before the nails. He saw the roots of evil entangle Earth's destiny, and it was Azael who lit the first match. The judgment was swift. God unleashed the flood, not just to cleanse sin, but to erase a bloodline that wasn't meant to exist. The Nephilim drowned. The Watchers were imprisoned. And Azael? He was buried beneath jagged rock and desert dust, chained in darkness, awaiting his sentence. But legends say his whispers still rise through time. Some claim his teachings survived, encoded in ancient symbols, resurrected in secret brotherhoods, passed down to kings, magicians, and modern empires. Some say the technological leaps of our age are not the work of man alone, but echoes of forbidden wisdom once sealed in heaven's vaults. Is Azael still silent? Or are we listening to him again without knowing? Every war, every ritual, every distortion of truth that spreads today, it may all trace back to one forgotten name. And as Jesus said, nothing is hidden that will not be revealed. Now you know. Lucifer may be the prince of this world, but Azael was the engineer. And if his influence still moves beneath the surface of our society, how close are we to another flood? Not of water, but of fire? You've seen the surface of this war, but there are deeper gates still closed, books yet unopened, names yet spoken. And if Azael was only the beginning, then the end will be more terrifying than we imagine. The war between God and the fallen ones never stopped. It just became silent, strategic, global. So now I ask you, are you ready to uncover the next layer? Because in our next video, we will journey into the secret legacy of the Templars, the Vatican archives, and the ancient codes that link Azael to the rise of the Antichrist and the final deception. This is bigger than religion, bigger than history. This is the battle for the soul of humanity. If this awakens something in you, don't stop here. Like this video, share it with those ready for truth, and subscribe right now. Activate the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. This is not the end. It's the unveiling. The next chapter begins soon, and you were chosen to witness it.